Welcome to another episode of Dynamic Diecasters, where this week we're going to continue our Star Wars Build Your Own X-Wing build, with this one being issues 57 through 60. So when we come back, we'll go ahead and get started on issue 57. Welcome back. Like I said before the break, we're going to go ahead and work on issues 57 through 60 this week. And this one's issue 57, which it looks like the majority of this one's going to be working on the last wing, where we almost complete it. But we also have to finish working on the upper port engine. So that's what stage 57 is going to represent, is other parts of the upper port engine. So we'll go ahead and get started on that and detailing the parts, and then I'll go ahead and I'll time-lapse this because it's those intricate details on the outside of the casing. So once I get all these parts out, I'll talk about them, and then we'll go from there. So there's all the parts. So first part being the upper engine casing. Then we've got the thrust nozzle. If you've been watching these episodes, these all look familiar. The locking collar is in this little plastic casing, but I'm not going to open this yet because there's other, what they call plant-on details. So the locking collar is right here, and then we've got the engine LED, the reflector, then the lens is in this little bag right here. And then we've got the thrust diffuser, and then lastly, like I said earlier, we've got 7 plant-on details. With that, we'll go ahead and get started on stage 57, and when we come back, I'll show you what we did. See you in a few minutes. And that was it for stage 57. So as you can see now, what we did was we finished the engine. So we put the side details on, and inside you can't see the detail on the engine, but one thing you can see is that once we plug it in, it lights up. So I'll show you that. And you can see the thrust detail in there. And that was pretty much it for stage 57. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to stage 58. It's going to continue. I think we're going to put engine mounts on the wing in this stage. So yeah, so this stage is the upper port engine mount. So we'll go ahead and go through the parts, and we'll get started on this part of the build. We'll be doing the mount, then the routing of the LEDs. So the one for, obviously the engine will be routed around the wing, and then the one for the laser cannon will also be part of this stage as well. So, oh, looks like one of the parts came off in the... So with that, we've got the inner wing frame, we've got the wing root cover, then we've got the engine mount brace, then we've got 4 cover plugs. They're on what they say a sprue, but it's basically this thing that it's attached to. We've got the laser cannon cable like I was talking about a second ago, and then we've got 4 sets of screws. So we've got 10 XW02 screws, we've got 3 XW03 screws, 6 XW04 screws, and then 5 XW05 screws. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started on this. I'll show you what we did at the completion of this stage. See you in a few more minutes. And that's it for stage 58. So like I was saying before, we've got the wing now. In this stage, we added the engine mount and the inner wing frame. We also routed the laser cannon cable, and then we mounted the engine to the wing. And then we also routed the LED cable that I showed you in the last stage for 57 through this section. Then we installed the wing root cover and then covered up the screw holes. So that's what it currently looks like now. And that's it for stage 58. And now we'll go ahead and move on to stage 59, which this is the one I dread the most. I can't stand this part of the build, and I'll be glad when this one's done, because this is the final one of this one, at least. I don't know if there's any more like this later, but these have been the biggest pains in the butt. But it's the upper port engine, another part of it, which it's the fusible thrust engine. So I've done 3 of these, and these are just a big royal pain because there's a lot of little tiny parts and they have to fit in very intricately on these pieces. So and it takes me, well, I've gotten quicker the 3 times that I've done it, so we'll see if I'm faster this time than even the last, but since I've done it a few times now. But there aren't that many parts, but there's a lot of little tiny intricate parts, which are the basic of the pipework detail. So there's the upper, I think this is the, yeah, this is the lower half of the power input unit. This is the upper half. Then we've got 16 pipework details in this little basket right here. I'm not going to go through them each individually, but they all fit on this part itself. So once I get through this stage, the rest of them are kind of a lot easier. Well, I don't know, actually. I haven't even gotten, once we get past this, I think the next stage will finish off the wing in the next episode that we do for the X-Wing. But this one ends, I believe, with just finishing off this engine piece. But anyhow, we'll go ahead and get started on this stage of the build, and I'll show you what we did when we get back. I'll see you in hopefully not 45 minutes, but it'll be time lapse for you guys anyway, so it'll go a lot faster, probably about 30 seconds. So I'll see you then. And that was it for stage 59. Actually, that went a lot faster than I thought it would. I think it took about 18 minutes. But we added the manifolds with the piping, this pipe, and then this little thing here. We'll be using that in stage 60, so I'm just going to put it off to the side. Stage 60 is just continuing adding on to that piece. And that's why I was saying that the next issues that I get, so stage 61 through 64, will be finishing off that wing, and then whatever else comes after that, because that's the last wing that we're putting together. We've done the other 3, so there's only this one left. So the completion of the wing will be in the next episode we do for the X-Wing. This is a continuation of the horrid part. This actually, I don't like this part very much either, because there's a lot of intricate pieces that go into the detail on that. And it just takes way too long for the payoff. Because the interesting part is we're doing a lot of detail that's actually ultimately hidden at the end of the day on the wing. So it goes underneath this, and then there's a wing, there's a cover that covers the whole thing up. So you don't ever see it after you put it in the actual model. But it is what it is. So let's get started on the parts. First part is a trailing edge support. Then we've got plant-on details that are in here. Then we've got the internal bulkhead. So if you've seen the other episodes when I've been doing the wings, again, this is exactly like that. And then we've got the power converter. We've got the lower half and the upper half of it. And then, like I said, all the silver pipework details. So overall, there's like 10 to 12 plant detail parts in this stage. And at that point, we'll be almost done with that wing. So when we come back, I'll show you what we did in this stage, and then we'll conclude the episode. I'll see you in a few more minutes. And that's it for stage 60, so that's the conclusion of today's build. I'll have to fix this. For some reason it popped out while I was doing this. But I'll fix it in the next section. But basically what we did, we installed this like I was talking about before, and then we installed the engine casing onto the wing. So now everything's installed except for the cover right here and the cover of the wing. So I'm envisioning in the next episode that we do, which will be like 4 episodes from now, we'll complete the wing and then start on the rest of the plane, or the X-wing, because at this point we've done part of the fuselage and then all 4 wings at that point. But the next episode we'll be doing will be another Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise build. And then after that we'll do a mod build for the Ecto-1, and then we'll do the Ecto-1 episode, and then we'll do the next X-Wing episode. And that'll be our battle rhythm for a little bit until my Knight Rider build comes in. It looks like it's being shipped, so I should get that soon. So that might start after the next X-Wing build next month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did and you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you get notified when our episodes come out. And for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dynamic Diecasters, and we'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night.